It's Wednesday, so you know what it is, what it do, what it is. I am the Grizz, and welcome back to Yesterday Today. This, of course, is the show where we bring you some of the latest and greatest news you may have missed from Yesterday Today, and we're going to talk about Embracer Group and why they are buying up all of these companies, and we're going to talk about Sakurai, yes, Sakurai, who is the developer for Kirby and Smash Brothers in his semi-retirement. But more, let's get into this. Alright, so today I want to start off with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, as Breath of the Wild is one of the games that I've played through so much. I've put in over 200, maybe 250 hours, and I absolutely love Breath of the Wild, and with its much anticipated sequel, we're all excited. In fact, I'm even more excited simply because it's officially listed on Amazon and across all other major platforms. Here it is, no box art or anything like this, but I will tell you this. Go ahead and pre-order it right now. The box art isn't there, and it did get rated about a week or so ago online, so that's coming, and box art I can't wait to see. But I feel like we're not going to see the box art until they have this a Nintendo Direct or something, and we get to see the special edition. So I'm not going to go ahead and pre-order this because there's not going to be a problem procuring the regular copy. What will be an issue is getting the special edition, and I'm just not settling for any less. What about you? Let me know down in the comments below. Next up, let's talk about a character artist named Frank Aliberti, who's worked with Sony, worked with 2K, and is actually planning on doing some more work with Sony, because shout out to Reset Era because they caught this, and if you go to aliberti.artstation.com, this is where you can find some of these artists like Aliberti, and you can find all their portfolio of work, and he's mentioned about all the work that he's done. He's been in the game industry since 2014, and now that he plans on working with Sony. And what does he plan on working with Sony? Do you have in mind? Well, there's an upcoming first-person shooter in 2024. 2023, there's Firewall Ultra. Now, Firewall was a VR game, a pretty fun VR game at that, but I'm wondering, will it be VR and online? Because I do believe Firewall is already online. Will this be VR, or will this be, just a third-person or first-person shooter or something like that? And that's supposed to be slated in 2023, and honestly, Sony could announce that January 1st and release it at the end of January. It means it's almost 2023. But then here's another one coming out in 2023. It says upcoming third-person cooperative shooter, where he is the senior artist, and he's a senior artist for all of these games. And I'm just really wondering, right? What is Sony cooking up? Now, they're making this big issue about how Game Pass isn't a direct competitor. They're not worried, but they're doing their best to stop this acquisition with Activision, right? That was a mouthful. Acquisition with Activision. Anyway, but here's the thing. Are they just buying themselves time to try to stretch this out as much as possible so they can get a head start on some of the stuff that they're doing? Or maybe they just want Xbox to not do it, and then maybe they can go and buy Call of Duty itself, and maybe they'll get them on the team and help them develop these games. I don't know. This is just a grain of salt, and I am just speculating, but this is really interesting. They have 3 games, not 1, not 2, but 3 games, okay? And shooters, 2 of them online shooters, maybe 3 of them online shooters. And you complaining about Call of Duty. Xbox has Halo, but now Xbox, if they go through with Xbox, will have Halo, Call of Duty, and a bunch of other stuff, but PlayStation and Nintendo and Steam will still have Call of Duty. I just don't get this. So I can't wait to see where PlayStation is going with this. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. Next up, let's talk Embracer Group. Now, if you're like me, you're wondering who the billionaire is behind the company that keeps gobbling up all of these old school IPs, or these IPs that haven't been as great as everything, right? Not every IP can be as great as Horizon and God of War, stuff like that, right? Some of the old school games that have paved the way, I wouldn't say they've been sunsetted, but they're just not getting as much attention. And I made sure I cropped in the face of the CEO of Embracer Group. He's the co-founder and CEO, Lars Wingfoot, and he's out there in Sweden. And there's a great article, a great read over on LA Times on why he is buying up all of this stuff. And basically, it's because these IPs aren't as big as they used to be, and he wants to pump money into these IPs, make them bigger, and profit off of them, straight like that. And here's what it says, is a quote straight from the article. It says, "A lot of what is happening in the world originates in California. Gaming is not an exception to this. This guy is only 45. You thinking this billionaire who's buying up all of the stuff in the game industry, he's in his 60s, or maybe his son is doing it and some guy's giving his son money. The CEO is 45 years old, so he's relatively young, and he probably really could be just as much of a gamer because he's old enough to enjoy all of these game franchises that he's been appreciating. He says, we're in a space now that we call transmedia. Games that are relevant to Hollywood, movies that can become games. That's where we want to be and how important that is. We want a lot of games and to make them the best. So we make acquisitions. So it doesn't get any more clear than that. He is acquiring all of these titles, all of these franchises and companies, because I remember when I was fiending for Kingdoms of Amalur just to be backwards compatible on Xbox, and then they re-released it on current gen systems, including the Switch, and I have it on PlayStation, PC, and Nintendo Switch because I loved that game so much back in the day, and it's still a joy. So imagine what he does with Tomb Raider, Legacy of Kain. He even owns Duke Nukem. Now, the last Duke Nukem game wasn't the best or whatever, but we loved Duke Nukem back in the day. I'd rather a Duke Nukem game with maybe less penis jokes, but I don't know if it'll be Duke Nukem still. So if you give us a Duke Nukem and make us appreciate him again, shoot, why not? Because I love a good first-person shooter. But what we want, okay? What we want, Mr. Wingfoot, is a Legacy of Kain. Remaster all them joints, okay? And give it back to us, okay? Remaster all of them, give it back to us. Bring the franchise back up to speed, and then just make a new one. Bring Raziel and Kain and all of them back together, and let us have a blast. Because, hey, maybe Embrace the Group isn't so bad. I know everybody's like, oh, well, corporations, whatever. We don't know anything. Embrace the Group has done nothing but acquire studios and stuff like that. So we'll see what they're going to do, and I can't wait to see what they do with some of these Square Enix titles and all these other games. I am so excited for this, and I just hope that I don't end up regretting it. And our last bit of news, let's talk about Masahiro Sakurai and how he is semi-retired. And he has a YouTube channel, and I gotta say, these legendary developers, Masahiro Sakurai and Hideo Kojima, having platforms so they can just talk about game development and stuff like that, and you can learn about it in an interesting way. Yeah, I really, really love the wave about this, but here's the thing about Masahiro. He is semi-retired and he's not really doing anything. He said he actively worked on Super Smash Bros. From Wii and the Switch. He worked on that stuff actively for 9 years, and he felt like that if he kept working, that his life would pretty much be over. He's 50-something odd years old now, and it's time for him to do stuff. But he released an interview over in Japan, and somebody over on Twitter gave it a translation. Shout out to you, Push Dustin. And there's a lot that he broke down, and I definitely say go look him up over on Twitter because this was a great breakdown and honestly some good stuff coming from the interview. And he says, Sakurai confirms that he is semi-retired. He is 52 after all. When Smash for 3DS/Wii U and Ultimate, he spent 9 years in active development. Sakurai felt that if he is just continuously making games full-time, his life will be over before he realizes it. Sakurai thinks the work on Smash is very important as it uses so many different characters, concepts from the game industry. He is very happy to have worked on it, but since he has more time available, he figured he would make his YouTube channel while he had the chance. Now, hey, I'm all for it. These people, developers, spend so much time. Like I'm talking about, you got issues like crunch, and people are just on these development cycles for so long, not seeing their families, not living their lives, and it's just really, really crazy. And given the fact that, there might be some complaints about certain Smash games, but we never really had a bad Smash game. And we got a bunch of great Kirby games, honestly. Shout out to the homie Masahiro Sakurai. And then if you go on his YouTube channel, he just thinks it's unique. He doesn't do consultations with other companies. He just works with Nintendo and stuff like that. But I'm just really wondering to see what he's going to do, because he's been in the news quite a bit lately. He's also teased Kid Icarus, and he's also responsible for Kid Icarus. So I'm really excited. You give us a Kid Icarus Uprising. I don't know how you would do that. Maybe us just from the 3DS, you would have to use the thumbstick and the stylus. Well, given the fact that we're not doing that anymore, and we have two Joy-Cons with two thumbsticks, we can use that now. And I'm really, really excited. I'm wondering what he has planned. And well, I'm all for retirement, 52 years old, that's a great retirement. You've been doing this for 20, 30 years. Yeah, man, credit all to you, man, and just enjoy the retirement, but hopefully we can see something soon. But no pressure. When this dude the dude who could basically put on Smash and play against himself. Like literally, if you've seen it, like when he was doing all his development vlogs, he would have two controllers and he'd be showing the two characters against each other, and they'd be fighting one another. He would have two controllers and he can do that with one hand. Take a break, bro. Take a break. You deserve it, because when you got that type of cognition and skill, yeah, I understand what it is. Alright, that's a wrap for today. Thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know what y'all think about everything down in the comments below. Whether it be Masahiro Sakurai's semi-retirement or Embracer Group just buying up all this stuff, and now we know exactly why. Let me know down in the comments below about everything. And of course, if you are new here, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like on the way out. And if you don't like anything that you've heard, come down in them comments and let's have a healthy conversation. And it's been a pretty great video, and it's a Wednesday. I'll see you sooner than later. Let me know what you think about everything. And this video is for